Welcome, race fans. Welcome. This is Ron with Bigg Wizurd TV. We are live. This is the big one. This is the season opener for the magnificent Season 7.
Let's see if we can have another one next week.
We've got a pile of drivers on the racetrack. Right now we have 25 cars out on the racetrack. This is Nuburgring. This is GT3 Challenge with East to West Racing. And this is going to be a dandy. We have got some new drivers this season. We've got race control out there, keeping everything under control. We've got just a pile of drivers. We're missing a few. One of the race we just finished went a little long. So there's a couple drivers that haven't been in yet. Hopefully they can get in. Looks like they're able to join. We're up to 26 drivers. And it's still they're still piling in. So qualifying has begun. They're on their warm-up lap. This is Nuburgring. So you get 3 laps. You get 20 minutes to do 3 laps for qualifying today. And that is where we are. And these guys are just finishing up their warm-up right now. And then they're going to be going after it. Let me get some volume turned on the race. So unfortunately I have to put this stuff on the screen. Sorry about that. But I turned it down a minute ago. I need to turn it back up. There we go. Sorry about the little interruption there. But welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. This is Ron again, Bigg Wizurd TV on the air. Season opener here for the GT3 Challenge from East to West Racing. These are some of the best drivers that we've seen in East to West that are racing here tonight. And it is going to be tight at the top. We've got some guys that really know how to race this track. I think we're going to see some times well down into the 630s in these GT3 cars, these monsters. We run open setups, so if you can make your car faster or better or whatever you can do to it, you're welcome to it. And they are all in. These guys have put in tons of time. I know some of the drivers have done over 40 laps at Nuburgring. And you know what? You might say 40 laps at like a half-mile oval isn't very much, but 40 laps here is brutal. Those laps take 6.5 minutes each. That is some dedication and some time to get ready for this race. Hey, great to have you here, Kraken. Sorry, I don't know who you are, but welcome, Kraken. The Kraken's in the house watching the broadcast. Let me know you're out there. We'll definitely kick it in and say hi and keep the interaction going. Right now, we are watching the guys on their first lap. This is the very first lap of qualifying. They do get 3. And it looks to me like, oh, there goes the 22 of Peter Short. Now, Peter Short has infamously ran a Ferrari. And this is the first time I've seen him in a BMW. Looks like the BMWs are going to rule the world here. Morgan Teggy in a Porsche. Sean Williams in a Mercedes. For these guys to be this close here, 98 is, that's Tristan Mayer. These are 3, we're watching right now, 3 of the best drivers here on the racetrack. Not saying the only 3, there's about 10 of them out there that are just absolute aliens. It's going to be awesome. Hey, Eric, what's going on, man? I'm glad you made it to the broadcast. Sorry you couldn't get in the race. But this should be a hot one. This one should be good. We're waiting to get some times in right now. We'll see what's going on. We'll jump in over here. We'll check in to see what Morgan's doing. Morgan's running in the Porsche. Brave man in the Porsche. If you look around and there's a whole bunch of BMWs up there, and Morgan's going to. We are running teams this season. The teams. I need to get my. Let me see. I got my teams list here. I can pull that up. Find it. Okay, we've got Atomic Racing, Ryan Fry. I don't know if Ryan made the field. Is he out there? Yes, Ryan Fry running with Alex Good in the 79. And then that's going to be TJ Allman in the 3rd spot on that team.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Thanks. TJ Allman is third driver on Atomic Racing. Those guys are going out there to put in a good show. Philip Scott in the 99 running with Tristan Mayer. Tristan was just on our screen a minute ago. He's in the 98 tonight. And Tristan is running, I believe, in an Audi. The car brands are on the right-hand side of the names. They're also cruising across the top of the screen. Once they start getting times in, the names and names will be more in order. Right now, they're just kind of out there. Clean itself up once they start crossing the start-finish line. 27 drivers. Matches our highest attended race to date in East to West Racing. 27 drivers starting off this one. And I know there's a few that wanted to be there that couldn't be there. Eric, one of them. But Eric, you're here with us. We'll be kicking off this broadcast here. We got 8.5 minutes left to qualify, so they're only going to get 2 laps. If they're lucky, they may only get 1. The clock is ticking down. It may be a one and done, because once qualifying clock is done, qualifying is over. So that is going to be it at the end. Morgan has caught the back of this little group of 3. It's being led right now by Jason Rabe. I'm guessing they're. Oh, look at that jump there. Oh, a little smoke going through there. Tristan Mayer, Jason Rabe, Tristan in the 98 there. I think he's the one. Oh no, there's a car up there. There's a car up there damaged. That looks like TJ in the 83. He's got engine damage. Oh, and he's loose as well. Trying to stay out of the way. Trying to stay out of the way. He's just going to pull the market here. That is unfortunate for TJ. Not going to get a qualifying time there. Not enough time to go around again. I believe this is a one-shot qualifier. 7 minutes to go. They've got to cross the line before the 6.5 mark. And there's only, well, they might. 30 seconds, they're coming around, but only a couple drivers might have the chance to do an extra lap here. Should have probably given them an extra 3 minutes to get this qualifying in. Here goes Tristan right past Jason on this long straight. Using the draft Mercedes alongside the BMW. They're going to hit the corner together, side by side. This could get interesting. I did this not too long ago. Adam Novotny with the first time. 6:33.8. Kyle Robinson 6:33.1. The times are starting to come in. At this point, there's no time to get around again. So this is it. Tristan will not get a time. He is done. Jason 6:36. Brandon 6:36. Jason with a 6:40. The guys that are on the track can finish their lap, but this is going to be challenging. You will not get a second one. The only ones that are going to get another one are the 3 or 4 that got across the line before that 6.5 minute mark. Because once it hits the time limit, it's over, boys and girls. It will be over.
Well, and it's a good thing because on this particular, there are some races that we've done in the past, in past seasons, where you can give another 30 seconds. You can let them finish a lap, but to let them finish a lap here, that's another 6 minutes.
It will take some time. That will take some time. And it's not that. It's the format we use with the sprint races. When we do those sprint races, qualifying ends right on the clock. So they won't even be able... The only way they can get a lap in is if they can do it in 5 minutes to 50 seconds. And hey, let's flip the camera on here, boys and girls, because you know who we got here in the booth with us? We have Dr. Todd.
Greetings, everyone.
Hey.
I am a doctor.
Yes, he is. Don't worry. He's a doctor.
I'm a doctor. We're going to be taking you down to the cutaway car a little bit later, show you some of the... No, I'm kidding. We're not going to be doing that.
I wish we had a cutaway car.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Can we get a cut? If we had a cutaway car, what kind of car? Because in NASCAR with old Dr. Jerry Punch, he's been around for a while. He uses the Ford cutaway car. Would you be willing to use like a Corvette cutaway car, or maybe a
Oh, I would absolutely use a Corvette cutaway car.
Okay.
In fact, what we would need is we'd need a Corvette cutaway car and a Corvette demo car.
A demo. That's a good idea.
So that we could
That's a
shoot,
really good
and you know, that way we'd be able to say, now, this is what it looks like on the inside, but here's what it looks like on the outside. And while we're at it, here's what it looks like when I'm driving down the road.
Well, unfortunately, we've only got 8 cars out of these 27 drivers with a qualifying lap. These guys have not been able to produce a quali lap. We'll see. There's still 4 minutes to go, so the guys that are out there, probably from about Rich Hibbs on, will be able to finish, well, probably somewhere around Adam Novotny on, maybe, forward.
Yeah.
Because Adam crossed the line with about 7 to go. So we should still see some more times here as these guys start crossing the line. Oh, that was Ryan Fry that just went off there. Joe Fierro is just starting a lap. He did not get a time. So
well, but he's registered for the race. I know a lot of we were as we were coming out of the race. We've got quite a few drivers that are in the mid pack for this group that were finishing the last race. So they've had lots of opportunity to practice. That's not going to be the issue. The issue will be for them. They're starting right at the back of the pack.
They are, and you know what? It's like Eric was saying here on the air. It's going to be tough. There's a lot of fast drivers. I mean, Tristan Mayer, one of the fastest drivers in the league, and he's going to be starting in the back with no qualifying time. So it's definitely going to be interesting. This feature, or the sprint race, is 3 laps, and from the experience of the JNR race that we just finished up, of course the racers are a little bit better here. You know, we got a little bit. There's a little bit higher quality, higher caliber, shall I say?
Yes. Greater experience.
More experience. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Higher experience level here with these drivers than some of the ones that were on the JNR series.
That would be accurate, knowing that at least one of those drivers was me. But having said that, if you'll remember, that first not even a third of the course in, we had 3 different incidences involving more than one car. For the sprint race, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we wind up seeing some real damage to the field at the front, and some of these guys that had slow cars sliding up, or are unqualified cars sliding up and getting a chance to be in that top 10.
The trick I see here is, right now, all the drivers that have qualifying times are extremely fast drivers.
Yes, they are.
I mean, we've got some of the best. I mean, Kyle Robinson, Morgan Teggy, Brandon Dooley, Jason Rabe, Richard Wishon. I mean, these guys are fast. They're extremely fast. And we're going to see a few more times click in here really quickly. As a few more cars are coming across the start-finish line. We'll probably see, I'm going to guess, at least another 3 times. We'll have at least 11 drivers with qualifying times out of the 27 we got out here.
So it's a big field. This track is forgiving in the fact that it'll stretch everybody out, but not forgiving in the fact that if you make one error in concentration, you find yourself needing a tow.
Yeah, a big one. A big one at that. Jeff Wyatt coming across now, see if we can get a time on the clock. Everybody's only really getting one chance at this. Jeff does go across. 6:44 for Jeff. That puts him in P7. That'll have him on row 4. Rich Hibbs is the one I'm curious here. Rich Hibbs, one of our very fast previous champions here. Rich in the BMW Realm Motorsports car. We'll see if he can make a good lap here. He's coming around the start-finish line right now. And he clicks off his lap with just 37 seconds to go. Is it good with 0x? It is. It puts him up on row 2 for the start.
BMWs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and then a couple Porsches, and then everybody else. But that is going to be it. That's going to do it for qualifying. I know it's upsetting to many that aren't going to make the line, but this is going to be our start. We've got our top 10 on the track and listed out here, and Chris Springer got in there for row 4 with P7 there with a 6:39. You can see how fast some of these guys are. Now, you and I were running. My fastest lap was around a 6:45 that I could do. I mean, and I wouldn't even be in the top 10 here. But here we go. We're going to line them up. We're going to get them going. Everybody's probably not the happiest camper at the moment. The ones that didn't get enough time to get a qualifying
especially
lap.
12 and back.
Yeah. Well, there is that. But we'll see how this rolls out.
I promised I'd never do this.
Yeah.
But I just got a call, and I think, as a doctor, I need to take this call. I'll be right back.
Don't worry, friends. He is a doctor. All right, they're lining up. They are lining up, and we will see the field kind of bunching up here. It's going to be a standing start, which is going to be...
What's going on, guys? Sorry, I can't get switched over to the Race Control channel right now, but I really just wanted to welcome you guys to the first race of the year. Let's have an amazing race here. Let's do it for David. We know he's watching down on us, rooting us all on. So let's have a blast. You guys hear me over the radio. You have any questions? I will make my calls clear and have a fantastic race.
All right, we're getting lined up. It takes about... Can't hear Rich. He was maybe had his mic keyed. It takes about 2 minutes to get them lined up, and I think we're about ready to go. We've got a couple cars still missing off the field here. I'm not sure if they're going to make the start. There's Josh. Still missing a couple. But as you can see, they're all the way around the corner. Not all on the front straight. Here, this is the front straight. And then this is around the corner. We're just about to get going here. Cars are revving up. We're going to get started here. We'll watch out front. We'll keep an eye on the leaders as they go. Kyle Robinson alongside Adam Novotny. Brandon Dooley right in chase. Kyle gets the good turn. One and gets the launch on the field. Adam in chase. Brandon Dooley in third. All these BMWs, 5 BMWs in a row here at the start as we get our green flag. And we are racing Season 7, the Magnificent 7 is going to be here at East to West Racing. We've got 17 races, we've got sprint races, we've got points for qualifying, we have everything you can imagine. This is the sprint leading to the feature. This is going to be a 3-lap shootout here at Nuburgring. It's going to take about 18 to 20 minutes to get through this race. And I'll tell it was Tristan Meyer hits the wall hard. Pretty sure that was Tristan there in the 98. That was, let's see if we can catch replay, man. What do you got for me on that one? Coming around right behind. Oh, into the wall. That's just loose. That's just cold tires right there. That's all that is. Cold tires bites again. Oh, that's a tough break. Vincent Tramontana did not start. Kyle Robinson out front. Adam Novotny in chase. Brandon Dooley in third. As Adam not giving any room at all to our leader, Kyle Robinson.
Unfortunately, Peter on lap 1, that was a netcode incident. Continue racing on.
Oh man, that's too bad. One of the fastest drivers out here didn't get a qualifying time. Peter Short starting in the back of the pack. Netcode gets dropped out into, probably has some damage. He'll be still cruising along. Let's check back in. I don't know what number he has though. So we'll jump back in the field. Let's see if we can find it. It's crazy, isn't it? There's so many drivers out here, I can't even find them. Unbelievable. Oh! And that looked like, was that TJ? No, that was not. That was another car spin. And into the wall back there. I'll get to know the teams a little better as we go. I don't even see Peter Short's name. So me is in the 22. Should have known that. Same number he had before. The car does have some damage on the back quarter panel, but up in, we don't know what position. Positions have disappeared. And he's battling there with Gray Welch. Also in a BMW. Peter alongside has the preferred line there. Exits to the corner in ahead of him there. That, as they just go by, was that? I don't know who that was that they just went by. It was not good, whoever that was. Let's see if we can find. Here's Tristan Mayer. Tristan's car doesn't look bad. He did hit the wall off the start there, so it doesn't look too terrible. Now we are going to flip the top 8 when we get to the end of this one. But, yeah, Paul Bilson and Dom Ford back in the pit lane. Up front, no change. Kyle Robinson, Adam Novotny, Brandon Dooley, and then followed by Josh Bailey and Rich Hibbs, top 5, all in the BMW right now. They are being chased by Morgan Teggy there in the Porsche, and he is being followed by Chris Springer, also in the Porsche. And Jason Reed, number 2, he is in one of the BMWs. He is in, well, we'll get the positions when they come across, but he is just at the tail end of the top 10. They got across the line once, and I realized that it takes 7 minutes to cross the line, but that's what it does here. Nürburgring, it is a challenging racetrack. Kyle Robinson still in the lead. Well, that's bouncing around a little too much. That's Todd Schwartz in the 420. He's in that BMW. TJ Allman running for Atomic Racing, just trying to find a way to get past Richard Wishon here. Richard in the Audi, TJ in the Porsche. Both seemingly held up here a little bit by Todd Schwartz in that BMW. But if you're close, you just have to be patient. It is just nearly impossible to get by anyone here. TJ trying around the outside. Gathers it back up. Hopefully he saves that. Just brushes the wall. He should be okay. He shouldn't have any damage on that one, but does lose a couple spots, which means he has to jump back up there again. So he'll be frustrated. And I think what we're going to see here is Richard Wishon waiting to get to this long straightaway here. This straightaway is a good place to catch a draft, and if you've got the right setup on your car, you can get by. We'll see if he does it, as he is nose to tail here with Todd Schwartz. The BMW is quick. It is real hard to pass. I've tried it myself in the last race, and I was only able to get alongside and not get by, even during this on this long straightaway. Here he goes. He's going to try it. Todd not giving him a whole lot of room, but as our positions and numbers are coming through now. And Richard hanging on and doing it, getting by in the corners, and now he's hard on the brakes getting around this final corner. But he does safely make it and gets by. And Richard Wishon will now take over P10 from Todd Schwartz. Back up front in the 28. Now I've got a little bit of info. Kyle Robinson and Adam Novotny put a little bit of a gap there to Brandon Dooley. This field's starting to spread out a little bit after the first almost 6.5 minutes here. Let's see, we've got, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, Eric. I've got a little bit of instant replay action. Not a lot, but if it's close, I can back it up and find it. But, it's definitely a challenge sometimes, especially with 27 cars on the racetrack. How do you find the one that spun and you need to get back into the camera? You got to find the number, figure out where it was, back it up. It's fun though. I apologize for the absence of Dr. Todd Wente. had to step away and take a phone call. He is a doctor, by the way. Kyle Robinson's still out front. This battle for the lead. I think these guys know top 8 are going to be reversed, so they're going to kind of probably just roll along here nose to tail. I don't know. You do get more points. Top 5 are getting points for finishing here in the sprint, so you definitely want to try to get up into that top 5 area. Morgan Teggy has gotten by Rich Hibbs. He is now in that 5th position, last points paying position here. And you can still see the leaders in that shot from the back, so they are not that far back. 5 seconds, the difference between where Morgan is in 5th and the leaders. But everybody up front here, champion driver quality. All these top 10 drivers are just top-notch drivers. You're not going to get away from them. If anybody makes a mistake, you're going to drop right back out of that top 10. Oh, and that's going to do it. That's going to do it for TJ. He was pushing, trying to get around. Let's see if we can catch that again. Again, right behind another car, trying to get an advantage. That's Greg Prochnow, and TJ just gets a little loose, and that is all it takes. Into the fence, takes that rear axle apart, and unfortunately that will do it for TJ's sprint race. He might go back in tow, try to get back into it, but unfortunately he is done for this one. This battle here still behind Todd Schwartz. Richard Wishon got by. Now Joe Fierro has caught Todd. We were watching something there. We were watching that. I was watching that. Joe sneaks by. We just missed that. Joe snuck by there. Oh no, Joe's right there. Still trailing Todd as they come down through some of the very twisty and tight sections of this racetrack. This part of the racetrack is actually nearly flat out. It doesn't look like it. They've got there's a right-hander up here. Right up here, they're going to have to hit the brakes just a little to get around this corner. And then there's another right-left combo they're going to have to slow down for. And then they hit the tight section and they start going probably down into 2nd or 3rd gear for the next mile or so to get through this mountainous tight section. Richard Wishon has pulled out front, and that is the 22 of Peter Short in P14. He has caught this group. He had an incident early on, but he is still motoring along. Has moved himself into P14 and gaining on Greg Prochnow, who was just momentarily in a battle with TJ Racing. Prochnow goes a little bit wide. That might give Peter Short a chance. Let's jump over here. Peter Short alongside. He's got to run. He should be able to finish this. Side by side doesn't give him enough room, but they're still in there. Peter backs off just a little bit. Not real happy with that action as he flashes lights and lets Greg know that that was not what he expected for clean racing. We'll see if this changes at all as we're trying to watch the action here. As they're caught right up to the back of 48 again. Peter trying to go around the outside, get the run as they're coming around this twisty section here. Looks like Peter got a really good jump off that corner. They're going down into a right-hander. He pushes him off again. Peter loses it. Oh. And he's still on the racetrack. He's going to get a couple other cars catching up, and that's Sean Williams and Michael Mooney. Peter with damage, not having the good sprint racing he wanted. Mired back in traffic. This is a really tough place to be on this racetrack. Pushed him down to P15. Let's jump up a little bit farther up in the action and see what's going on up in the front. Kyle Robinson, Adam Novotny, Brandon Dooley, 1, 2, 3 as they run, and all in the same shot there within 1 second each other. 1.7 first to third. As they're completing lap number 2. This is the white flag. They're going to come up and get the white flag now. I need to see if I can get flags on here. Why can't we have the white flag showing on the screen? That'd be cool. Show us the white flag, not just the drivers. See if I can work on that for an overlay fix. These guys are having a much more calm and collected race in the front. Now, looks like Josh Baling has also managed to get by Rich Hibbs. Rich into P6. Jason Rabe, Chris Springer still in. That is for P7. And Jason Rabe in the number 2. He's in P8. The Philip Scott in the 99. He's just gonna miss that transfer spot to flip the field. The top 8 are gonna flip around. And we're gonna take off again for the feature race, and that's gonna be 6 laps. This is the final lap of the heat race. 3 laps will be the race, and then they're gonna line them all up, flip the top 8, and do it again. Top 8 right now: Kyle Robinson in the 28 car, Adam Novotny in the 326, Brandon Dooley in the number 14. Morgan Teddy in the 07, the Porsche. In P5, that is Josh Baling, followed very closely by the 15 of Rich Hibbs. Chris Springer in the number 56, he's in 7th. And Jason Ray, we were just looking at, in P8. So there's your top 8 right now as they run. They've got 1 lap to go. They've just kind of got it started. They're about a third of the way. But that is the field. That's the part of the field that's going to flip. Welcome back, Dr. Todd Wente.
Thank you. Disaster averted.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it just takes a doctor. It's a good thing you were there for them.
You know,
Yeah.
they needed me.
Yeah.
They needed me, and I'm glad I was there for them.
Uh-oh. Hey, replay man.
Oh!
That's Jason Rabe. That's Jason Rabe. He caught up the replay man. Can we see what's going on?
I want to
What-
see that whole thing.
What is
Sorry about
going
that.
on? Let's see if we can see it. Here's Morgan. He's in the twisty section.
I remember that section very well.
This is the same corner where TJ lost it just a few minutes ago. He comes in, hits the wall, backs up, tries to get it brought around. He didn't do much damage, but he did lose the spots.
And then...
That was
so
close. That was so close.
So close.
May have been a little bit of a penalty there.
Maybe. Unsafe
re-entry. It's possible.
It's possible.
That is possible.
Should we get caught back in time?
We should probably catch up.
Yeah. Having been in that twisty section a lot over the last couple of hours, that's a tough spot.
Look at this. Kyle Robinson, 6:34.5 for his fastest lap. He has a 1.6 second lead over Adam Novotny. We're on lap 3. So we are 25 minutes into this race. But this is amazing that he can run away like this. I mean, Adam and Brandon running a 6:34.1, quickest lap of the race so far. But all these guys are right in the 34s, 35s, 36s. I mean, unbelievable lap times for these top 8 drivers. They're just really flying out there.
You know, I remember yesterday we were looking at qualifying times and we were talking about 6:40 as being fast. And here we are, not 24 hours later.
6:35. But you know, that was the JNR series practice that we were doing.
Oh, I'm not talking about our practice. I'm talking about when we were chatting with everybody yesterday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Well, and when we did the practice last night, there were some 6:35s. But I don't recall seeing any 6:34s.
That's fast.
So these are really quick times. And you might think, you know, it's a 6-minute lap. 6 minutes, what's a second? Well, right now, what's a second? That's the difference between second and third. It's the difference between 7th and 8th. It's the difference between 8th and 9th. You know, it's out there. It really is. Let's go back to the field here. This is P10. Richard Wishon. He has Todd Schwartz in the rear view. He finally did get by Todd. Greg Koshnow in the 212. He also has gotten by No, he is not. Todd Schwartz still hanging in there. But he got by Joe Fierro. Joe Fierro was in P12. And I don't see... You know who I'm missing here? You know who I'm missing? I am missing Peter Short. Is Peter Short off the racetrack? That would be tragic if that was the case. Instead of going to P15, I went to car 15 because, you know, I'm smart like that.
Hey, you know what? Everybody has their day.
There's
Peter Short.
Peter's still
16th.
out there. 16th spot right now in the 22 car. Still hanging on. Now, the good thing about this... Oh, man, he's got some damage to the car.
Oh!
And that was... Who? That was
that
Sean
Mooney?
Williams. No, that was Sean Williams. Let's see what happened there. That was not happy. You know, these corners, you miss one, and it compounds, right? You miss this one, and you go wide into that one, and then you can't recover, and you hit this one, and the front splitter is on the ground, and...
That's a hard contact.
That is hard contact. He'll be able to probably crawl around to the finish. Be able to finish that up, but not what Sean was looking for.
Oh,
Sean,
he's back into the wall again. Yeah, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle to get it back.
He's on the struggle bus now. Sean's in the 6. He's got another car right behind him. That's Alex Good. Alex in the 79.
He's having a tough time turning him up in.
Yeah, he's got way too much damage on that car, so that's going to put him back in the pack. Unfortunately, these cars in the back here have either been repaired or, yeah, Gray was in on lap 3. He had to go in for repairs. They do have 2 fast repairs, so you can go in and get your car fixed. But we just missed the finish, didn't we? 28. That was 28. That is the win. Kyle Robinson takes the win. Adam Novotny, Brandon Dooley, Josh Bailey, Morgan Teggy dropped back down to 6th. So top 5, Rich Hips. Oh, Morgan's still dropping down. Morgan just goes across in 7th, followed by Jason Rabe, which is where he was. We knew that. That was from the accident before.
Right.
So Morgan in 7th, which is really, you know, bad news for the rest of the field. Because Morgan may be in 7th at the end of the heat.
But we flip.
We flip the top 8.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on the front row for the next race. We do have a couple minutes here in between the 2 races. They have a 3-minute warm-up. So the drivers will have a minute to get kind of their bearings again, but we're still finishing up the racers. Not everybody's crossed the line yet. Let's see. Here comes Greg Prochnow. He had an issue. He was up there battling with Joe Fierro, and he has had an issue. He's dropped back to P14. And you can see by the damage on the front of the car, that was not what he wanted. And
You know, at any other track.
Sean Williams, he's still trying. He's still trying. Come on, Sean. You can get there. Sean's trying to hold on. Tristan Mayer, one of the fastest guys again on the racetrack. His day is done, so he is out. Alex Good in the 79 just went by. That'll be a position up for Alex. And you know, you don't get points down here in this spot in the race. In this part of the field, you're not getting any points. But you are. Come on, guys. What's going on? You are able to get... and here comes Gray Welch. Gray's going to get by. And that's going to put Gray from 19th up to 17th because Tristan's in the pits. So that's a good move for Gray there. You don't get points this far back. Only the top 5 are going to get points. Which is why the flip top 8 is so important. You have to be up there. You can't sandbag to get 8th. You have to be up in the top 5 if you want to get points. So everybody's going to try their hardest to get up there and get that top 5. The problem is anybody past 8, that's where you start. So if you're having a problem like Sean right here, he was in 14th. So now he's going to end up, or if he was in 15th, now he's going to end up in 17th, possibly even 18th if, see, there's Gray jumping in front of him, and Jeff Wyatt is gaining on him. And it looks to me like he's got a flat rear tire. That and a bent front suspension. Oh. Yeah, he can't turn at all. The front suspension gone. There goes Jeff Wyatt. So he keeps losing spots. It doesn't matter on the points, but it is going to matter when it comes to starting the next session. When they start that next session, he's going to be just that much farther back. And that's going to hurt him. So he's got to get across the finish line here. and finish this one up. Hopefully he'll pull across the line and not just stop in his pit box. Because if he stops in his pit box and doesn't cross the line, then TJ and anybody else out on the racetrack also has an opportunity to get by him. So, and I don't know if he did. He probably did. There's the car fixed. Waiting for these last few drivers to get by. There goes TJ. TJ was really trying hard to get by a couple drivers, and it just didn't work out for him. He moves up into P20. Not the start of the series he wanted. I can guarantee you that. And Paul Bilson still cruising. He was in the pits earlier. He came out at the end of lap 2. Got the car fixed and came out and ran some decent laps after that. But rough start for a few of these guys.
You know, this it is a rough start. This is a track that when you talk about excitement, when you talk about things changing in the blink of an eye,
test.
This is a track that those kinds of things happen.
Brent's watching. We got Brent out there in the broadcast world watching the race with us. Thanks, Brent, for tuning in. Yeah, we got some great racing out here. Brent, you were in the race with us just a few minutes ago. Brent, I don't know if he hails from Texas or just knows people in Texas. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll tell us if he's actually lives in Texas. You know, because Texas is a big place. It's a huge place. I don't know if he's from there.
I understand it used to be its own country.
Yeah, I think it still is. Wait, can I say that on the air?
You just did.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. He'll correct us if it's different.
Yeah, well, all right. That'll work. Let's see. Do we have anybody else on the racetrack? Oh, he's in Pennsylvania. So he just knows people. He just knows people in Texas. Okay, I think all the drivers have crossed the line. There we go. 3-minute warm-up now that everybody's crossed the line. The finishing order was Kyle Robinson out front, followed by Adam Novotny, Brandon Dooley, Josh Baling, Rich Hibbs, Chris Springer, Morgan Teggy, and Jason Rabe. Top 8, followed by Philip Scott, Richard Wishon. That is the top 10 from the sprint race. Top 5 will get points. So Kyle, Adam, Brandon. Kyle gets 100 points.
Wow.
That's a lot. The race win here is 350 points. So getting a sprint race win, you get 100 extra. So it's really a big deal. But what that does is it throws you back to 8th place. Now Kyle is going to be in the same position as Peter Short, as Morgan Teggy, as all these guys, Rich Hibbs, and all these guys that were trying to get by the car in front of him, but didn't have the ability to get by clean. This track is so tight. It's so just complex. There's only like 2 passing zones in the whole place.
Yeah. And if you're not patient, the track punishes you.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that for sure. Yeah, just a little.
We've seen that. We will see it again, because something tells me that there's going to be somebody in this field that's not going to be patient about getting around on that first lap.
I don't know. It's the feature now. They got 6 whole laps to do it in, right?
Yeah. You know, the thing that I think is the most amazing is we got a few drivers out there using the 3 minutes to warm up. In the JNR Craftsman series that we did earlier, we all just said, no, we're just going to rest.
We're going to rest. We're going to rest. I actually went out and did some standing start practice. That's what I did with the last 2 minutes of that. I went out on the track and I was doing these little burnouts to try to figure out how to get the launch off the line.
Yeah.
And then Bilson still got by me. So, whoa. That's Todd Schwartz right there.
I've done that before.
Yeah. The pit exit here is really tight.
Pit entrance, pit exit, everything.
And the corners and the track and the straightaways and the
and
the hills and the bumps. They're all kind of tight, you know?
You know, my son loves to remind me every time the word Nuburgring comes up. He loves to remind me that James May wishes this track had been bombed repeatedly during World War II.
During World War II.
Every night.
Yeah. It would have been a good idea.
But you know... And yet at the same time, the amount of enjoyment that we get from this track.
Yeah. What's great is these guys up front, you know, you might... Those of us that don't race up in the top 10 here,
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't...
Back in the pack.
Yeah, back in the pack kind of guys, like we are.
Yes.
We may not enjoy Nürburgring as much as some other drivers, but I'll tell you what. These guys up front, they love this place. Yeah. They live for this race.
Yeah.
This race being the season opener is not a mistake. These guys
All right,
love
guys. Leading up here into the feature, good last race. We did have one incident with some netcode there. Let's just remember, it's an extremely long track. Let's keep the first couple turns clean, get through them, so everybody can get through and have a nice, fun race. I wish you all the best of luck. Have a blast.
Okay, we're getting lined up. Here we go.
It's not a game. It's a simulator.
It's a simulator.
But the emphasis for this is on having a good, fun race. I love that.
Yeah. Well, in the league East to West Racing, we have some rules where, there's a couple main majority rules. There's some big rules out there that set the rules up for the rest of the rules. And they are, first, respect the other drivers.
Yep.
That's rule number one. If in rule number two basically is if you mess up on rule number one, apologize.
Yeah.
Because really, it's all about having fun together. All these guys are hanging out in a Discord chat together. If we went over and looked, there's what do you got?
You got pretty much everybody.
25 plus people in a Discord server hanging out together. And it's awesome. Here we go. Green light's ready to go. We're ready for the start. There it is. Green, 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 and away they go. Oh, and the car spins his tires. Oh, Josh Bailing's... No, that was Jason Rabe spun his tires, didn't move. That's going to bunch him up. Oh, and he comes around. Oh, and he comes around. He causes an issue up at the front. That is going to be a mess. Everybody's got to get around. Oh, they're creeping around him. Now he's got to turn around. He started on the front row. Jason is not a happy camper.
It's just heartbreaking.
And that puts, guess who, out front. Morgan Teggy out front in the Porsche. Now, I'm not saying Morgan's the fastest driver out here. He is our reigning champion from Season 6. So he's definitely fast. He's one of the fastest guys out here.
But Morgan had his own problems.
He did. He had, during the sprint race, he was not able to get out into the front. But look at this action through here. Just so many cars, so close together. This one's going to be intense.
This is the kind of racing that as a driver you love, but it also really can be nerve-wracking.
Kyle Robinson, 14th, did not have the start he wanted. He started in 8th position and was dropped back to 14th. He probably got caught up in that incident off the first turn. Jason,
what do we always say?
Oh, there's TJ. TJ making moves. Moves and counter moves for TJ getting around. Yeah, that line is Oh, and there's a car off. There's a car off into the wall hard. And that is that the 86? Is that Jeff Wyatt? I believe that is.
Oh, that's Jeff. Taking a tow.
That is Jeff Wyatt. Not liking that. Jason Rabe in the back of the pack. He's on fire, but he is well in the back of the pack. Morgan pulling away slightly from Chris Springer. This dynamic's a little bit different. It doesn't have... It's not the fastest driver following the next fastest driver. No. Because you got that top 8 flip. The fast drivers, Brandon Dooley, Adam Novotny, Kyle Robinson, they have to get by the guys in front of them in order to get back up to the front. So definitely going to be a challenge here. Chris Springer, very fast, finished very well in the race, in the sprint race, now in 2nd spot, but it almost looks like, the race between Morgan and somebody else might have been closer, but he's a little quicker than Chris. So it appears to me at this point, Chris is kind of holding up the field compared to Morgan. And Morgan's getting a chance to pull away here. But I like that 2 Porsches are up front now. The BMW's dominating that sprint race.
They did.
Looking good. And Rich Hibbs, very smart driver, very patient. He was not one of the ones that got caught up trying to get by somebody and forcing his way through. Let's see what happened. up. He's moved up quite a bit. He's up to 13th. Nice tree. That's a really nice tree.
We paid the cameraman well. He's up.
Yeah.
He's up in the deer blind.
Yeah. He's spotting deer. Tomorrow morning he's out for the hunt.
Well, you know, it is the bow season.
Yeah.
At least in Germany.
At least
That's what I
Germany.
hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Now, one disadvantage we have here, we
Did I say
do get
deer
the
season? I meant beer season.
beer season. Beer season. No, that's later in the year. That's September. They call it Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
And it's in,
And it's September.
It's in September. Go figure.
It's Germany. Who cares?
Thanks. Thanks for noticing the tree there, Eric. We appreciate
that.
Appreciate you being out there, buddy. Epic tree camera number 1. Look at this battle here. Joe Fierro
Oh my word.
trying to get by Richard Wishon with Peter Short in tow. These guys are nose to tail. This is the kind of action you find at Nuburgring, and this goes on mile after mile. They have such a hard time getting by. Oh, and look at that move there. He's got to move. He's
Can he
around
make
the
it stick?
outside. It looks like he's got it. Go to the
He's
next
got it.
corner. Peter Short making moves and counter moves. Let's check out the leader, Morgan Teggy, out in the front, just ripping off the time. He's got himself a 2.5 second, well, just over 2 second lead over Chris Springer in second spot. Chris in the 56 being closely followed.
Richards right there.
Yes, right on his tail. Now look at this gaggle here for fourth spot. This is Josh Bailing, and he's followed by Brandon Dooley. These are the guys that were up front in the previous race, and they are putting on the heat as the BMW clan is kicking in here for fourth spot. It says fifth on the screen. Sorry, Jason Ray did go to the back on that inside earlier.
That's true. And it'll flip them.
And when they do manage to cross the finish line, let's see.
Yeah. In another.
Sooner or later. This is going to be 6 laps. They should have enough time to do the 6 laps. But I think time will run out right at the end of 5. It's 40 minutes.
In this, one of the things that's interesting about this track is that once you get out front, Morgan's gotten out front, the chances that he's going to run into anybody to slow him down is almost non-existent.
Well, yeah, that's going to depend heavily on the traffic. And right now, traffic is showing the 86 car in the pit lane, as well as there's another car there. That is the 19 of Gray Welch.
Wonder what happened to Gray.
I
Did we miss
don't
that?
know. We missed it. Whatever it was. But when those guys come out of the pits, and Jeff Peters is also in the pit lane, obviously some damage to that vehicle.
My goodness, that was the one we saw. And as I recall,
No, we saw Jeff. We didn't see what happened to. We didn't see what happened. Oh, we saw Jeff Wyatt. We didn't see what happened to JP. Here comes Morgan across the line for lap 1 finish. 5 more to go. I mean, what a relief to be able to get that first lap in, have a couple seconds on the field, and just running clean laps. He's got open track in front of him. He's got 14 miles of open track in front of him. I mean, you just go, baby, go. You know, I mean, just cruising. Let's go.
As long as he pays attention and doesn't think about anything other than those 14 miles, I think he's going to be okay.
Oh, he might actually have a win here.
Oh,
In the Porsche with this great field that we have. It's going to be intense though, but it's only lap 2.
oh yeah.
It's only lap 2, and it is
And it's
Nürburgring.
Anything can happen.
My words exactly. You know, and I'm not even a doctor.
Have we been doing this a while?
I think we have.
we've been doing this a while.
But I'm not even a doctor, and I can come up with this.
Yeah. You blend. You blend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm a world traveler.
Yes, you are.
Chris Springer here in second spot, also in the Porsche. Still very closely followed by Rich Hibbs in the 50 car in third. Adam Novotny just made a pass. That was a pass for position. Adam, where's his number? There's too many numbers.
Number 5. He's number 326. He's in fifth place now.
Yeah, he is right behind Josh Bailing. He got by Brandon Dooley
Brandon, are you happy about
in
that?
the 14 car. No damage. He just must have got a good run on him there. Brandon may have gone off slightly because that gap is fairly large for having just gotten off. But that's a little too far back for the cameraman to find.
Yeah.
He's sitting here at Nürburgring. He's sitting here for an hour waiting for a rewind.
and probably missed the right rewind to get
Yeah.
back there.
Get to
See
the
the
wrong
wrong
spot.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Chris Springer. Oh, and a little bump. A little bump. That looked like a bump there to me. Let's back that up and see what happened. Oh, and Chris just drops. He drops back to the pits. That's not good. Let's see what he did.
Oh, he went.
Let's see what we can see here on this replay. Replay mode live. He's out in P2 here and just loses it just slightly. Tries to gather back up. Hits the wall. He's probably going to spin here. I know this corner.
I do too.
This is that uphill, really tight stuff. He comes back on the racetrack. Is not up to speed yet. And it looks like maybe a bump, maybe net code. That would be close. Don't know for sure. I know Brandon's a super keen driver, so it wasn't anything intentional. We'll wait and hear if we get any ruling from race control. He might get a drive-through on that one.
One of the hard things, though, is that when you've got a head of steam coming through and somebody else is re-entering the racetrack, you can do everything possible and still have it not be enough if people aren't just up to speed. That's a tough break.
I've been in that position. We were doing some practice last night, and I came back on the racetrack after a little wobble, and I was flat out. I thought I was going full speed. Somebody caught me from behind so fast that I didn't notice they were there that quickly, and he tried to go around, and I didn't know he was going to try it, and we just got together. But I mean, it was practice. It was one of those things that, you know, you try in practice. you just don't try them in the race. But what's unfortunate here is the top that BMW group, that clan of BMWs has now moved up to the second spot, so second through fifth of those Beamers. And they are hauling the mail right here.
Yes, they are.
We got three of them right here together. This is Rich. 5-second gap now back to up to Morgan though. And then Brandon has fallen back slightly. He may have damage. I can't see any, but he may have some if he's going a little slower. Because it looks to me like Philip Scott is gaining on him in that Mercedes.
It does, and no, it doesn't matter what angle we've got on him. We can't really get a good there. Can't see anything.
Can't see any damage. He might be going a little slow. He might be a little underpowered. The other thing,
tired now?
I don't know.
He'd be able to drive.
He'd be a lot slower than that if he had suspension damage. But it's possible he's got something going on there. But what I think is crazy is how one little tiny thing can drop you. He's only lost one position.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the race for him. But definitely a difference. Oh, thank you, tree. I love that tree. That's the best tree ever.
We're gonna try and get that guy moved out of that tree.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna help.
I don't think so. Philip Scott, good start on this one. Moved up to P6 here as he's rolling. He started in 11th, or 9th. He started in 9th because he missed the cut on the flip just by one spot. Philip making some good moving.
Putting himself
here.
in a good spot.
Yep, gonna get some points out of this one. Kyle Robinson, winner from last race, the sprint race. But he is 16 seconds off the lead. That is going to be a hard gap to catch if he wants to win the second one. That is going to be tough. That is going to be tough. Richard Wishon running some really good laps earlier, now being chased down by Greg Prochnow as they go that jump. The jump is so fun. You just fly over that thing. Bang! The car comes out.
The first time it's not so fun when you don't know what's coming.
The car comes off the ground a few times here. Very, very amazing racetrack. Yeah, there's some great action on the racetrack. Mooney in P10 right now, just motoring along. Mooney definitely, when in the JNR race, I think he was the quickest in the JNR race. He won the sprint. Started back in 10th place on the restart, and he didn't do so well. He got into some trouble early on and ended up back in the field in 12th.
But when he came out, there were a couple of times when I was quite a ways in front of him, and
He's just gained.
he did. He was smooth and got around me and did a beautiful job.
Mooney knows this racetrack. He loves Nuburgring. He's one of those guys that you can say loves this track, and he does. And it shows. His driving here is very, very good. Very, very high quality. Up to P10 in the feature. Great run for him. P10 is very hard to get in this series with these drivers.
Well, and especially Mooney wasn't able to get in for qualifying,
right?
And so
he started back in the pack.
Yeah, he's got a good. He's making a good showing for himself.
Todd Schwartz, member of that DSR SimSport team. That is Brandon Dooley, Kyle Robinson, and Todd Schwartz. That's that team. Doing some good laps here. He's running really strong in the Ferrari. BMW. That's not a Porsche Ferrari.
No.
No.
Yeah. It's not a Mercedes. It's not a Porsche. It's not.
What
a
is
Ferrari.
it?
It's a BMW.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sometimes you just need a doctor.
That's what I'm here for. My work is done. I'm going to have a Coke Zero.
Speaking of Coke Zero, let's put a shout out to our sponsors. We have JNR Craftworks sponsors the entire series for the race right before this, the JNR Craftworks Contender Series that we race. But JNR Craftworks, a sponsor here at E2WR Racing. Also, Grandpa's Kitchen. I've heard something about those guys. Grandpa's, what do they do again?
Grandpa's Kitchen does gluten-free flour and gluten-free baking needs. So anything that you would normally cook with regular flour, you can cook with Grandpa's Kitchen flour at a cup substitution. Grandpa's Kitchen. They know gluten-free because they know gluten-free.
That's awesome. It's good stuff.
Do you like how I did that?
That's good. You should be like an announcer.
or maybe on a YouTube channel.
Maybe on YouTube?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see what we can do about that. Maybe grandpaskitchen.com is where you go for all that information. And then JNRCraftworks.com. Primary League sponsor, Stair Fittings Incorporated. Yeah, they're the best. Stair Fittings Inc. Orders.stairfittings.com is where you can find all the inventory. Stair Fittings Inc. has all your needs for stairs. They have everything. Oh, wow. Look at that.
This is a good battle.
Gain. I knew he would catch him here. What a gain on that uphill section. Peter just has a way. He has a way to get by.
Identical cars, so...
Well, it could maybe different setups in it.
Maybe different setups.
I mean, Peters does have the word pro on the back. Does that mean he's a better driver because Todd doesn't have the word pro on it? He has police.
You know, I wouldn't say that because I've been on the road with Todd. So
yeah,
he's
solid.
He's a solid driver.
P11 in this group?
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely. Look at that
game.
Oh
my goodness!
Yeah, a little slide, just a slight bobble. Peter's trying to get around the outside. No room
this
there.
Is such a good battle.
Oh,
just can't make it stick.
Not quite enough room. They're coming down the hill to this heavy braking section. This twisty.
I know this section.
The twisty bits, let's call them. As if it's not all twisty bits. Yeah. Let's see if he can get him. This little bridge section is a good place to gain. Let's see if he's got enough to get a jump on him here. Across this bridge and up to that next section. No, not quite.
Can't quite make it.
Not quite. There is a long, straight-ish section where you can go flat out coming up. See if he can get a run on him there. If he gets a little bit of a draft, he might be able to get a run on him after this right-hander here. See if he gets a jump. I don't know if he's got enough. This is it right here. It's a long section, but he's really I thought he'd be up a little closer by now. So Todd with a very good setup, very quick car. Peter trying everything he's got. We'll see if he gets him by this brake zone. He's going to go around the outside and try it. Get our cameraman out of this stupid tree.
He just can't quite get it all the way through.
Oh, it's close right here. Oh, no, he backs off. That was the spot right there in the braking zone. He backed off, and Todd bobbles. That's going to give him a chance to get back up alongside. Heavy braking zone coming up here, right here. Oh, and he has to stay behind. Wow.
But look who's stalking him right from behind.
Yeah.
Jason Rabe is starting to come up.
Jason, who had that bobble at the beginning and threw himself back, is already up to P13.
Through the carousel.
He does that so well. Peter does that carousel better than anybody I've ever seen. Gets a run coming out of the carousel. Looks like he's going to get him here, going around this left-hander and up into the corner. Yeah, he's got it.
He's going to make it stick.
He's got it. Oh, that's close.
That's what we were talking about before. Patience on this track. You've got to find the right spot and just wait for it to come to you.
Great racing. Great racing. Let's see if anybody has caught Morgan. How about no?
No. And look at the interval. He's
Josh-
just stretched the interval out to 8 seconds.
Yeah, Josh now in second spot. Rich Hibbs back to third. So Josh has gotten by, trying to gain, but not able to do it. Now, if you notice on the timing screen on the top right, some of the guys don't have lap times. That is because they had an incident on that previous lap. And it looks to me like Brandon has gotten back on his horse, and he is after it. The problem, the car I see that has had some problems is Adam Novotny. He was up in third and has dropped now back into P7 behind Kyle Robinson. So we'll go through the field, and as we get back there, see if we can see any damage. But if you remember, he got by Brandon for P4, and we thought maybe he was that Brandon was maybe damaged. But as we watch him here behind Rich, it looks like Brandon's just fine.
He's gathered the car up, and now he's sitting down to make business.
Let's see if he can get him on this long section with the draft.
You know, driving this course, you get to this spot in the race, and you're like, oh,
Little
I've got
breather.
a minute to breathe.
Yeah, a little breather.
But it's not as long as you think.
Look at how those cars, no gain on the draft. Look at that.
My goodness.
I mean, now, there's also setup differences. Now, we watched those guys try this earlier. Here goes Brandon side by side, but he's going to back off. Smarter man there. And I did the same thing when I got to that point. You get alongside. I was alongside Paul Bilson earlier and trying to do that, and I just couldn't make it stick. Oh, and Brandon dives into the pit lane.
It looks like maybe he does have either. He's coming
He
in for
may
gas.
have. This may be the deciding factor. It's the end of lap 2. He's coming in to get, or end of lap 3. I'm sorry. He's coming in to get that fuel stop, which he's going to need.
Maybe he's got a quick repair as well.
I wonder if we got something going on. Anyway, we said we'd go back and look at Adam Novotny, and that we will do. And we see him now. Look at the front end damage.
Yeah.
You can see it just get repaired right
Front end
there.
and some back end damage.
Yeah,
both.
so he hit the wall. He hit something back there, so that's why he fell back. And Adam's going to sit there in the pit lane. That puts Peter short. Now, granted, Peter also has to pit still, but that puts Peter short into P9.
So now none of the leaders pit.
Not yet. Well, Peter did on lap. Look at this. He pit on the end of lap 1, so he came in. Now, I don't think you can get enough fuel to go 5 laps. But I have seen this guy. I've watched this guy race for years. I have actually seen him fuel save and run just as fast as anybody else on the racetrack.
Huh.
So it's possible that he can do this on a stop at lap 1, at the end of
still
lap
be able
1,
to
and
finish.
still be able to finish 5 laps. We'll see. We'll find out. Because this one's definitely going 6. We are currently on lap 4. We have 3 to go. 2 to go next time by. Next time by is going to be a few minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely a few minutes. So we did catch a great save from Adam early on, but not this.
My goodness.
Not this time, boys and girls. And Morgan, taking advantage of the track limits, has now raced 3 laps without a lap time, without a fastest lap time. So he is pushing the envelope and going across some limits there.
You know, if he's pushing that hard and he's going off just a little bit, I wonder how long it's going to be until that bites him.
You know, 3 more laps. We'll find out. Josh Bailing in second spot. The gaps are starting to open up, which is the benefit of Nürburgring. You get those little 2, 3, 4 second gaps, and it eases off the pressure. You know the guy's right there behind you. He knows that Rich Hibbs is 2.5 seconds back, but at the same time, he's not on his bumper.
Yeah.
He's not so close to somebody in front that he can't see his braking zones. He's out there in a comfortable spot. He's racing his race, and he's out there in second spot. Great run for Josh.
It allows the driver to really be concentrated on what's going on in front of him and about what's going on behind him.
Exactly. And all of us know that, look, driving in the rearview mirror
Is the way to get wrecked.
is a good way to get into a wreck.
You know what? We should copyright that.
We should at least put it on a t-shirt.
Maybe we should put it on a t-shirt.
Driving in the rearview mirror is a good way to wreck.
You know what? We should put it on a t-shirt. In a rear view mirror, backwards. So when you look at yourself in the mirror,
You can see it, because then you're looking in the mirror. You know, I wouldn't have thought of that on my own, but you know,
I am
I'm not a doctor.
I am a doctor. Actually, I have a friend who makes T-shirts like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, JNR Craftworks. I didn't know if you knew, but JNR Craftworks makes these.
JNR Craftworks.
We could do a one-off custom T-shirt with JNR Craftworks. He makes some really cool stuff. He actually makes all the trophies for the league as well.
Now that I know, and I have to say,
I have
know
some
you do.
here.
I know you do. And I am.
They're really small. They're a really big series, but they're really small trophies.
I'm working hard to get one of those trophies myself. I think it's going to be about another 14 years.
14?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey,
So
it's
we'll
good
see
to
what
have a goal.
happens. Yeah.
It's good to have a goal. Look who this is. Kyle Robinson gaining on Philip Scott, just 3 seconds back, and that number is coming down.
Kyle Robinson started this heat.
This feature.
Excuse me, in 8th place, making the moves up to 5th. And he's showing exactly why he was first place in that last race.
And so far, 6:34.7, quickest lap of the race so far. At least on the timer. We'll have to see. We can get a last lap time number up on the top screen. But yeah, we'll have to see what Morgan's got for that. It looks like a lot of drivers have lost out. 6:35.2 was his last lap for Morgan.
Okay,
So
okay.
he's running the quick laps, but has not been able to put down a fastest lap because those are with an incident point. Don't know how many. Might be just one, but nonetheless, incident point takes away your fastest lap time. We'll see if he gets one this time.
And you know what? I don't think he cares.
I don't think so either. Hey, tree guy. How's Mooney doing? Mooney right out here in front of Greg Prochnow. Mooney moves up to P7. Now, he has not yet pit, so he's going to have to come in to get a little bit of go-go juice. He won't be able to make it on... was that Peter Wiggle?
Yeah, that was Peter Short.
Yeah, that was a little wiggle
on the
back
backside.
He's trying to gain another spot. He got by Todd Schwartz, and now Jason Rain has got by Todd Schwartz, and he's now catching Greg Prochnow in front of him. And Peter Short did have a pit stop at Sills, and he pit on lap 2, which means the end of lap 1. So we'll see if that is going to help him. Right now, I don't know. I think Jason has been making some great gains. He's already up to P10. And not just... Oh, we just missed that. We were watching it just a second ago. Hey, replay man, what happened to Greg Prochnow? I think this might be a Peter Short special. He's right behind him, pressures him a little bit. A little wiggle there by Greg. And you know what? That's well, he just hit the rumble strips. That little wiggle was all it took. And Greg has not yet pit, and he's very close to pit lane. Hopefully he can get in at the end of this lap and get that fixed.
He hit pretty flat, so probably won't cause too much problem as far as his steering for getting it to the end of the lane.
Yeah, hopefully he would.
Ways away.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't mess up any steering. Adam Novotny back down to P13 after his pit stop. You can see him chasing Sean Williams here. Sean, we watched. Oh, and Mooney may have had a problem as Peter Short has now moved up. Oh, Mooney went to the pits. Mooney went to the pit lane. Peter Short now has moved up into P7. Wow. What a run. What a great run. Greg Prochnow gets by. Jason Rabe gets by. I think Prochnow may have gone in the pit lane. Yeah, he is. He's in the pit lane.
So we got
Jason
a lot
Rabe's in the pit lane. Everybody's in the pit lane. As you can see, the cars kind of bunch up across each other. You see the two cars that are on top of each other. That's because there's so many cars and only so many pit lanes. Pit spots is why they do that.
But because it's a simulator, that works.
It does actually. As we see TJ Allman back out onto the racetrack in P11.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Morgan hasn't.
That is correct.
So Morgan's going to have to pit.
Well, the top 4, top 5 have. Well, maybe even the top 6 haven't pit yet. And I don't think Peter Short can make it now. This guy surprised me before, but I don't think you can make it around here. I could barely make 4 laps. In the last race, I went into the pits after lap 1, and we only had a 5-lap race, and I had to fuel save the whole way to get my P3 finish.
Yeah, I I was actually able to get all of my laps in for the rest of the race, and I had about 1.8 gallons left. But I'm not sure that 1.8 gallons would have gotten another lap.
Now, interesting, the number of cars that have dropped out of this race. We have lost probably about 7 drivers off the back end of this race. Yeah, only 21 left. And good for these guys, the Podium Pirates, for being out there racing. Philip Scott, we were watching the action. Philip Scott has had a problem. Philip Scott has had a problem. Replay man, what do you got?
Oh.
Let's see if we can see the action here. He's chasing down Rich Hibbs. I know this corner, hard left-hander. And then down into the right hand. Yep. He looks good here. Oh, and he just loses it. Just loses it. And he has to stop right in the middle of the racetrack. Oh. Cars coming. He's got to stay out of the way. He's got to let those guys by. He then gets time.
Yep.
He's got a 10-second gap here then to Mooney. And is able to get the car straightened back around. But, oh, no bueno there for Philip.
That's a rough break.
Not going to be happy with that.
And you know what that does for Peter Short?
Moves him up to 6th. And Kyle Robinson to 5th. So look at the field now as we're getting Adam Novotny into 9th. Morgan, Josh, Brandon, Rich, Kyle, Peter, Philip, Mooney, Adam, and Rich. We've seen this before. We have. We've seen this little tag team before. And you know what's really incredible? Morgan has now gone into the pits. Morgan has made his stop on the end of the last lap. On the end of lap 4, he made his pit stop as well as in the number 1, also making his stop. And look at this, the gap down to just 3 seconds. And Brandon pulling out of there. Brandon made his stop a lap before these guys, but only 1.5 seconds now between 2nd and 3rd. Great racing up front here. These guys are really putting on a show here. In the 15 car, that's Rich Hibbs. He actually came in as well. Kyle Robinson made his stop. Pretty much all of these leaders have now come in. Peter Short, we're still wondering if he's going to be able to get all the way to the end on that lap 2 stop.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
You look at him. Lap 4, lap 5, lap 5, lap 5, lap 5, lap 4, lap 2.
Yeah. Eric, I would have loved to have you over in the JNR race or in this one, either one. Hey, cameraman, cut it out.
We'll tell him next time not to be in that tree line.
Yeah. Would have loved to have you out there on the racetrack. This course is definitely a challenge. Definitely one of the hardest racetracks out there. Just the sheer length and the undulation on the racetrack, and the amount of corners, the differences in the corners. All you're doing is driving through a mountain pass with a race car at 140, 150 miles an hour.
And
no big deal.
And anywhere between 8 and 15 of your closest friends to be with you. And every one of them waiting for you to screw up.
Yeah, that's how you gain here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Peter trying to make that run, trying to make it last. As he comes through on this lap, I wonder what his fuel situation is. I wish we had the ability to go in and look at his telemetry.
See the fuel amount. We're gonna find out. So at the end of this lap, he's gonna have to make that call. Because this is lap 5. If he can make it, he'll try it. If he can't, he's going to have to. And if he comes in, Philip Scott, 9 seconds back. The stop time
could make the difference.
In the pit stop time is about, from what these guys have seen, anywhere between 17 and 25 seconds for fuel only. So, and he only needs a lap of fuel, so that's only 3 gallons of gas.
So he should be able to do that in 8 seconds?
Well, it takes it just pulling in and pulling out. It's going to take at least 17 seconds.
Man.
So we'll watch and see what happens here. We'll keep the camera here rolling. We'll watch what happens and see if he can come out ahead of Philip Scott. Now he's got Mooney's 30 seconds back, so he should be able to get in and out ahead of Mooney.
It's Philip Scott. That's the question.
Yeah,
mark.
Philip Scott, and you know what? It's no picnic getting around anybody. So, and there he goes. There he goes. He does go in the pit lane. Let's see where he comes out, and it looks like Josh Baling. Is he in the pits? Josh Baling came in again.
Do we have a little bit of damage someplace?
I don't know, but he was up in second, and now that puts Brandon Dooley into P2. Philip Scott has gotten by as he motors on past the pit lane, and that puts Peter back into P7 as he is now out on the racetrack, and he is going to try to gun him down, but that's 6 seconds in one lap, and with this top 10,
I don't think it's possible.
yeah, good luck, buddy.
Look at that top three: Morgan Tiggy, Brandon Dooley,
Rich Hibbs, and
Have you
Kyle.
seen this before?
Yeah, and the sprint winner, Kyle Robinson. So
Right behind.
you know, Peter did have some bad mojo there in the first race, in the sprint race. So, and he didn't have a qualifying time. So it's possible that maybe we just had a bad race for him. We'll see what comes up next week. A top 10 finish is still great
Yeah.
in this series.
Yes, it
So
is.
we'll see how it runs. We'll see how it runs. Really good run for him. I'm really impressed with this driver. He started on the front row and has never looked back. Very impressed.
Driving that Porsche, which is a
It's a new car for him this year.
is that the 992?
That is the 911 GT3.
Okay.
It's the actual GT3. They call it They just call it the 911 GT3. You can buy one in the showroom for somewhere around $190,000.
That's all.
Yeah, and they're pretty much just like this when you get them, except I don't think they have the interior torn out.
Yeah, probably.
I think it has the interior. I think it does have the roll cage.
Does it have the big wing on the back as well?
Yeah, I've seen.
Really?
I've actually seen them. They're really just an amazing car.
So when you buy a car like that off the showroom floor, and you drive it off the showroom floor, do you ever get it out of second gear?
It depends on what state you live in. I hear there's parts of Montana.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, maybe over in the Autobahn,
Autobahn?
where they make these cars.
You know, I've driven in Europe, and I've been in the far lane where it says that there is a unrestricted speed.
Yeah, they go
And
pretty quick there. The field is definitely spread out. 5 laps. We're on lap 6. 5 laps down for most of the drivers. A couple of them still finishing up, but
We are on that final lap.
on that final lap, and this is really moving. This is a moving and a shaking kind of race. Eric, I appreciate you talking about the other series. East to West Racing runs 4 different races a week. We have the 2 series on Sunday, JNR Craftworks Series, and then the GT3 Challenge, which are the same race. So the guys can race the first one and then jump right into the second one most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, today it was a little touch and go, but they made it. Mooney, who's really good at this racetrack, up to P8. Great job for him. From that, he won the sprint earlier. And just cruising along. And Josh is off the racetrack. No.
What
Josh
happened?
is off. I don't know. Let's see if the replay man can find it. We do have this from about 5 minutes ago. He just misses this just a little bit.
Oh,
Hard into the wall, and that ends his day.
that's just hard.
Yeah, and such a good run for him too. He was doing great. Let's see, I gotta get the camera fixed. Okay, we're back up front. This is live action again, and
In the tree.
again in the tree. Thanks very much, Tree Man. But Josh Baling dropping out of the race.
So sad.
Brandon Dooley, there's that tree. Brandon Dooley in second spot. Rich Hibbs in the 15, just missed the tree there as well. And look who is in fourth.
Kyle Robinson.
Right behind Rich Hibbs.
My goodness.
Unbelievable. Peter Short has gotten by Philip Scott by... no, he has not.
Yes, he has.
Phillips.
Peter Short is in front of Philip
Well,
Scott.
up here he is, but down here he's not.
Oh.
So Philip is definitely in front of him.
Oh, because that's based on...
That was where they went in the pits. If you look at the map over here,
There we go.
you can see the 99 in front of the 22, and that is a 10-second lead. So Philip Scott, we were saying that he'd have to run one heck of a lap to get by him. So
Yep. That's the jump.
yeah, that was the little jump there.
You know when these
Oh!
and that's Kyle Robinson.
That is, and this is the final lap, and it's late in the race. We'll see what happens here. We need to back this up a bit because this is one
Kyle
tight,
Robinson
one tight battle.
making a move on Rich Hibbs, and he gets it to stick, but
loses it on
overcommits.
the exit. Oh, wow! Damages both sides of the car. That is going to hurt. That is going to hurt.
Yeah, that's, and he's trying, and you can see as he's
They can't.
they will in a second.
They
Or
can't.
maybe
No, they won't. They won't see it. Morgan coming across the start-finish line now. He is just about there, finishing up the long straight. And this is going to be big for Morgan Teggy against a very, very loaded field. And Morgan's going to come by for the checkered flag first. Great job, Morgan.
Well
nice,
done.
nice finish. Brandon Dooley coming across in second place. And there's Rich Hibbs, who battled away with Kyle Robinson and has finished in that spot. I think Philip Scott will be next. Coming across the line now. And that's going to be a P4 for Philip Scott. What a great finish for Philip. And Mooney, no, next is going to be Peter Short. And he's going to come across with a 5th place finish after no qualifying. Unbelievable to get P5 out of that. And then I think our next car is going to be Adam Novotny coming across. He's going to grab P6. Mooney P7. And man, how far back? Oh, Kyle Robinson can't even make the start. He can't even make the line. TJ Allman, another great run for TJ. That's an 8th place finish. And that is for his new team, Atomic Racing, this season. Richard Wishon dropping in for P9. And 10th, I believe, is going to be the guy that spun on the very first turn, waited for the whole field to pass, and finishes in 9th place.
That's an amazing run.
What a great finish.
You know,
Greg Prochnow with a really good run tonight. He's going to take away P11. And here is Joe Fierro. He's going to get 12th. And Sean Williams
staying with it.
He's going to take, he's going to actually have a
13th.
13th spot. We got 420. This is Todd Schwartz. He's going to take 14th. As he crosses the line, you'll see the numbers switch. And let's see if we can get into the booth here and get some people talking. Hopefully we can. I don't see anybody in here yet. We'll see if they jump in. But what a race, man. What an absolute amazing race. Has Kyle finished yet? Kyle did get across. P17 for Kyle. Last car on the lead lap.
Oh.
What a just devastating hit on that final lap. So Morgan Teggy takes the checkered flag first. Brandon Dooley, Rich Hibbs, Philip Scott, Peter Short, Adam Novotny, Michael Mooney, TJ Allman, Richard Wishon, Jason Rabe are your top 10. What a race, an amazing day here at the racetrack. This is going to be a great season. The magnificent Season 7 has begun.
It's a great start to what's can surely be a hotly contested season. Fastest laps for all of our for our top 7, for the top 6 were within nearly all of the top 6. Rich Hibbs was a little bit slower, but for the rest of them, all within a second.
This is what's crazy. Adam Novotny with a 6:35, right? Yet he's got one. He has actually the quickest. Oh wait, Brandon had the quickest with a 6:35.2, 6:35.8, and Adam finishes.
Hey, great race, everybody.
Sixth place, just because of
Thanks,
the
Jaden.
consistency of Rich out front.
Thank you,
To
Jaden.
get that, even with a slower lap time, manages to pick up third
Thank
spot.
you
staying
guys.
on
That
the
was
podium.
awesome.
Great race, everybody. That was a lot of fun. I don't think we'll have anybody in the booth. Maybe I can drop down in the general public, general population, see if they'll talk. We'll see. Hey guys, Ron in the broadcast booth here with Dr. Todd Wenty.
Hey.
And we just saw one of the greatest races of all time. GT3s at Nürburgring. How'd you guys like that one?
I'm
Glad it's over.
Sweaty.
I'm glad I only got 3x.
Let's do it again next week.
I'm for that. Let's do it again.
3x. I had 3x turn 1 of the heat race.
You guys put on one heck of a show. Morgan, the luck of the draw on that top 8 flip. I know you didn't do that on purpose, but man, that paid off. You got out front. You ran clean. I don't even think you saw anybody the whole race, did you?
Joshua was behind me, kind of in the hunt, but no, didn't have a ton of drama.
Yeah, that makes it nice and easy to drive that one. Good job out front. Way to be out there and stay out there. Fast laps in the 630s all night long. So,
Hey, thank you. I'm just glad I was able to hustle a Porsche around and survive the feature.
and then we had a few drivers running in the BMW. Brandon Dooley survived the chaos, man. You missed everything. At least I think you did. There was one point we were questioning, but it looked like you missed everything and got up into P2. Great finish.
Yeah, it was a little frantic start. Avoided several hits there, and then was just able to kind of keep it clean. Had some just play it easy, play it safe, sit behind some other cars, trying to get around. I was fortunate enough that I got in the fuel window when I got behind Rich, and I'm like, I'm pitting now, try to outrun him on the outlap.
Yeah,
And,
it worked out real well. That was a
got
really
the undercut.
really nice race. Rich P3, man, very impressive run. You were probably the smoothest guy out there. Just no issues. Did you do that with 0x?
1x.
1x for 6
Wow.
laps at Nürburgring.
Wow.
Did anybody do it with 0x? Anybody have a 0x?
I got
I had
0x
one.
for both heat and feature.
Oh man, Alex, good job. Man.
You're a winner.
Yeah, you won the race, even though you didn't get top points. You still won the race. Actually, you do get points for the 0x, so that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, top
Yeah,
3.
zero in the
Checking
sprint.
about that.
Yeah, top 3, absolutely amazing run, you guys. There was a lot of racing action. Philip, you started 9th. You didn't have the finish you wanted in the sprint, but
Yeah.
man, you battled back and made a really good run after it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one because I didn't really get to practice that much this week, and I came so close to getting. I would have probably started I had a very thin margin, like 1x, that would on my qualifying lap that would have put me like P3 or P4 or something.
Yeah.
And that kind of didn't. And then in the, I'll have to go back and send the replay, but I had another one of my infamous starts on the in the first heat where I managed to go 3 wide and not even get on the grass one bit.
Yeah, it was exciting to call. There was action nonstop, and that's crazy. I mean, as far as you guys, some of you guys stretched it out and had some gaps between you, but still, just an amazing race to watch.
Yeah, I didn't feel nearly as fast as the other guys, but I knew that at the end of the first heat race, I was like, I don't know how everybody else's tires were, but like,
well, I can tell you one thing: Morgan's tires are going to be a little worn out on the rear.
Yeah.
Peter, it was good to have you out here. Haven't been on the series for a while. You didn't get a qualifying time. I don't know if you knew that the qualifying would end right at the end of the timer. But, man, what a great battle back up through P5. I mean, what a run. So, and he's not here. Hey.
That happens.
He left. Maybe only P5. No, he did great. That was a good run. He started late back a little bit in the pack and moved up. Got a P5 finish. Adam, you were flying out there. You had one of the quickest laps. I think Brandon ended up with the quickest lap of the race. But Adam,
I don't think so.
You didn't have it? You had a 6:35.2.
I think somebody had a 6:34. What did Kyle run?
Maybe I need to drop down.
6:34.7.
Yeah, he was in the 34s.
Okay,
okay.
He happened to have an incident on the final lap. Kyle, great run up until that P3 pass to try to get P3.
Yeah, I forced the issue a little too much on it, and it's an error that should not have happened, but it did. So I was just trying to make up as much time as I could. Being the start of the race didn't go well. I think I'm looking back at the replay. By turn 3, 4 in that area, I was in 15th. So car just didn't go on the start. So that made it a little more interesting. So I was just picking people off and letting everybody else kind of have attrition, take care of them, and then I took care of myself on the last lap. So it is what it is.
You know what I noticed out there, everybody, when you guys were driving, it's in some cars, and I thought even in this car, that you could get a draft down that long straightaway, that uphill section, and then when you get to that downhill, make the pass. But I noticed today in the JNR race, I couldn't do it. I tried to get around Bilson, and I couldn't do it. And I noticed a couple of you guys, you could get almost to the door, but that was it. You couldn't make it. You couldn't make the pass. So
yeah, and that was kind of
even with Adam bump drafting me down to get around Josh, I still couldn't make it.
Yeah, it was intense watching that. I mean, I don't know if they changed some aero package on the GT3s in iRacing or not, but I would have thought down a mile-long straightaway, you'd have a chance to get a little bit of a draft and make that pass. But
maybe anywhere but Nuburgring.
Anywhere but. Great race tonight, guys.
I defended Adam on one lap, and I actually did make a pass just underneath the bridge on someone. I don't remember who, but yeah.
Yeah, and Mooney, what a great run for you tonight. You and the podium pirates there. TJ right behind you. Top 10s for both of you. That's going to help you guys in the points for sure, on the team points. And great start to the season for both of you guys.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from him and stay with Adam so that I could stay away from TJ, but the 25th place start, because I didn't have a qualifying because I was still at the JNR.
Yeah.
So didn't even have a shot at it, and I'm like, well, we'll just work this through, and a 15th and then this, so I'll take it.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done.
And TJ, it looked like you were kind of getting held up in the sprint, trying to get by, making some moves, but didn't really pan out. You started back in the pack and moved up to top 10. That was a good finish.
Yeah, all I can say, first of all, is apologies, man, to Peter for that first lap in the sprint, man. I had the boat anchor out, man. I couldn't stop it and just barely tapped you, and that was all it took. My apologies, man. The rest of it was just, trying to do too much. It's just stupid stuff. I know better, and just a big. I give myself an F for this race.
Well, you got a top 10. I go with at least a D-.
D-, then we'll do the D-. But yeah, my apologies, guys. So I'll back it down next race.
Well, it was great to watch, great to call. Hopefully the replay gets some views. Don't forget to like us out there on YouTube. We'll go ahead and bring it down to a close. As always, don't race on the road.
No, race here.
Race with us.
Yeah.
East to West Racing every Sunday night. Season opener here of the magnificent Season 7. Next week we're at Sebring. Should be another great one. And not as long.
Oh. Hallelujah.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for racing and putting on a good show. We'll see you guys out there on the next one. Be safe out there. Good night, all.
Thank you, guys.
See y'all.
Thanks, Ron. Good night.
Well, that does it. Any final comments before we go?
What a great way to start a season. If the rest of the season is anything like this, this is certainly a season not to be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to, again, next week. No, we're not going to race here next week. We may race here next season, but it's a 17-week season, and we just started with week 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys, Brent and Eric, for the comments throughout the race. Everybody else for tuning in. It was a great show. Appreciate you guys being out here. And we will see you guys out on the next one, which will be at Sebring next Sunday night, right here on Bigg Wizurd TV. Good night, everybody.
Good night.